Hey Aquarius, welcome to your August 2025 monthly reading. We're just going to go ahead here and get started and jump straight in. I hope you're doing well, Aquarius. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, that link will be down below in the description. If you click that link, it'll take you straight to my website, and then from there you can purchase a read. Also, the reads are still on sale at this time as well. But without further ado here, Aquarius, let's go ahead here and jump into your reading. All right. You are definitely going through a deep transformation here. It's a deep spiritual transformation in your life at this time, Aquarius. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to pull your oracle cards and then we'll jump into the reading. You pulled this debilitated card. It says discomfort here. Yeah, you may be a little bit in an uncomfortable energy at this time, Aquarius. Debilitation in astrology represents to where, the challenges are a little bit harder to work through. It's like you have to use sort of what you got, or, you're just finding it a little bit difficult to overcome the obstacles, to overcome the challenges here. You may feel like you don't have the resources or everything here that you need at your disposal to sort of help you. And so you could be in this, uncomfortable position, but I think this uncomfortable position is actually pushing you harder here to get into that comfortable position. Let's see here. You pulled this forgiveness card here. I think you're definitely working through some deep things at this time here, Aquarius, with the death card being here for the overall energy, right? By the way, your reading ends in a positive note with the Two of Cups here in the outcome. But I think right now, the death card does represent transformation. It's this slow process of something sort of withering away, and you've been attached to it. It's like you're having to let it go, but it's difficult. And yeah, it's like this comes with forgiving yourself, forgiving other people. So this deep metamorphosis can happen here for you. And you pulled this adjustments are required, and this is the third quarter moon here. Yep. I mean, you're turning the corner here, Aquarius, and you're getting ready to leap into or jump into a new cycle with things here in your life. But it's sort of this last sort of test here and challenges here to face, so that way you can overcome whatever limitations here that you have, so that way you can move into this new chapter, this new beginning here. If you have to make adjustments, make those adjustments. Don't be afraid to make those adjustments here. With this death card here being the overall energy, again, the death card it could be an ego death, right? Like your sense of self is sort of withering away, and you could be questioning who you are at this time, trying to find those deeper answers, trying to find that deeper connection to yourself. You could be in this rebuilding process while things are also at the same time breaking down, and it just feels uncomfortable, right? And it's not easy with the death card. It never is. But it is the metamorphosis that's happening. It's, it's the cocoon, right? When the butterfly's in the cocoon, but it's like you have to fucking break yourself out of that fucking cocoon. And it takes strength to do it. And I think right now that is what you're after with the Knight of Wands in your current energy. I like the Knight of Wands being in your current energy, because the Knight of Wands is a card of boldness, directness, strength, independence, asserting yourself, taking action, taking the lead, and not just sort of waiting with the death card. It's like moving forward. You have the Hierophant here in your challenge at this time, and then you have the Three of Pentacles here as your advice here. The one thing I always get with the Hierophant, I've been picking up on when it comes to the collective, is that the Hierophant represents wisdom. And I feel a lot of people have the wisdom, but the Three of Pentacles is applying those principles, applying the wisdom. Like the Hierophant, you can know everything, but it's not until you actually apply the wisdom that you start to overcome your limitations. You start to make things better in your life. You start to overcome those challenges here. You start to be able to make those proper adjustments. World wisdom is gained through once you understand something and know something, it's you apply it. And I think that's the Three of Pentacles here. It's apply what it is that you know toward your goals. Three of Pentacles is Mars and Capricorn. So what are your goals, right? And what are the structures and what are the systems that you have in place here for yourself, so that way you know where your energy is going with the Knight of Wands. So I think that this is you. It's not that you're learning structure, but it's like new systems, maybe new structures, having to let go of the old structures, let go of the old systems, and having to adjust your goals, adjust those structures. So that way you know like where your energy is going with the Knight of Wands. Because sometimes the Knight of Wands all over the place. And I think with Saturn being in Aries, it is about how are you controlling yourself? Self-discipline, self-response. It's all the selves, right? Self-discipline, self-responsibility, self-mastery, self-accountability. So I think that's your advice here. Three of Pentacles is saying to channel that energy into the structures here. Because that's the thing with the Death card, when things are breaking down and you have to build new systems, that's a fucking difficult process because you don't have a lot of certainty with things and there's a lot of doubt and you don't know how it's all going to go. And that's why the Hierophant's here is that you have to trust in like what you know and what you're learning, and you have to implement it to see if it works, to gain the wisdom. You have the Eight of Swords here in the future position here. I mean, the Eight of Swords is a card of analysis paralysis. I think it's very important here, Aquarius, not to sit not to sit idle with this Eight of Swords. Because Eight of Swords can be a card, this is a deep read, but we're going to have to go there. You can easily avoid this Eight of Swords energy, very easily. The Eight of Swords is overthinking, analysis paralysis, sometimes sitting idle because you don't know what to do. But sometimes you just have to do. Like we always seek understand. We want to know first and understand first before we do something. But really understanding and getting those answers really come from just doing what you need to do, and then you get that next step, and then you get that next step. But a lot of times, because we don't know or we're uncertain, we don't keep moving forward with things. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Aquarius? So I think you can easily avoid this Eight of Swords energy. I'm not saying it's not difficult. I think it definitely is difficult. Eight of Swords, Death card. It's like there's a whole rewiring process here that's going on as well. You have the Two of Cups, though, in the outcome position. I think things turn out here good, though, for you. I don't really think this is love. If anything, I don't think this is like new love or anything like that. I think this is you finding a deeper part of yourself. The Two of Cups deals with integration. So it's like integrating, parts of yourself that probably have been fragmented with that Death card. And it's like, the Death card's transformation. Transformation is always going to take place, but when you participate in that transformation, that really determines what's going to be produced as the result. And so the Two of Cups is, well, this is you going through that transformation. And I think it's going to be something here that's going to spiritually feel liberating and emotionally feel very deeply rooted and connected. And this deeper integration that's going on. But I really get here not to sit idle. I don't know why I get that for you, Aquarius. You pulled the Two of Swords here in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of. Yeah, Two of Swords can be indecision, not feeling confident in certain decisions, right? And so you kind of just sit and think about it, process it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But sometimes, it's like if you process it for too long, or if you sit on the fence for too long, time's just going to pass you by, then you're going to feel even more behind. Let's clarify your reading here, Aquarius. Clarify the Death card here for your overall energy. You pulled the Seven of Swords here. Yeah, the Seven of Swords is strategies and tactics. I know the Seven of Swords is a toxic card. I get that, but I don't really pick that up here in your read. If anything, I feel like you've been clearing out the toxic energy with the Seven of Swords. But the Seven of Swords is strategies and tactics. It's like, what is your strategy? And you may have to adjust your strategy with this adjustments card that we pulled. And, Seven of Swords is it's a card of experimentation. So you have to experiment with different strategies, experiment with different structures, experiment with different systems, so that way we can really find that deeper transformation in our life, because the old things have withered away. And so it's in that process of experimentation, like a lot of the times we don't have certainty, and so we're just having to try new things and be open and receptive to new things, and it just feels weird because we don't really feel that strong sense of self with things. Does that make sense? Like if you're used to doing something a certain way, but that way has sort of withered away, and it's like now you have to try new things, and it's like it's difficult because you don't have a strong sense of self, right? Because your old sense of self has dissolved because of the things that have withered away. It can create a lot of doubt with that Eight of Swords here in the future. Clarify the Knight of Wands in your current energy. You have the Six of Swords here. You're definitely moving into way better waters though in your life. Like you're moving into a better direction here in your life with that Knight of Wands, Six of Swords. So keep moving forward here. Definitely don't go back to the past. The past things that have caused turbulence, I would say. Clarify the Hierophant in your challenge. You pulled the King of Cups here. This King of Cups does connect to this forgiveness card. I think right now what you're trying, like what the process of something you're going through is like this deeper emotional maturity here. It's very interesting that Jupiter is in your 6th house and Venus is in your 6th house in Cancer. So, and the 6th house deals with obstacles and challenges, and you want like a malefic planet there. Like Jupiter and Venus are benefics, and so it's like you're having to sort of, like the way through your obstacles is like applying like the higher forms of wisdom and needing the strength to really do it, to stay disciplined with it, with that Three of Pentacles being your advice. Clarify the Eight of Swords in the future. You pulled the King of Wands here. This could be a King of Wands person that like you're in your head about, Aquarius. But I think too, again, the King of Wands is a card that represents confidence. It represents authority, right? Being confident in your authority, being confident in your vision of the future, and having a sense of certainty and vision. And that Eight of Swords being here, it's like, it's a little hard to see everything. It's a little hard to understand everything. Clarify the Two of Cups here in the outcome. You pulled the Hangman. Well, the good thing is that there is enlightenment coming, you being able to see things from a broader perspective here. And I think the Hangman too connects to this forgiveness card as well, because the Hangman is about, it's Neptune. Like Neptune deals with compassion, empathy, the ability to be able to dissolve boundaries, let go of the rigidity, right? And find that love. And so I think there's a deep process of forgiveness between yourself or other people, and you finally being able to dissolve that rigidness or those boundaries or those limitations that have been stopping you here from integrating fully this new sense of self that is trying to be born here with this Death card. But it is happening here with the Two of Cups and the Hangman. It's just probably going to take some time. And I think because the Hangman came out, the Hangman is about yielding. And the Eight of Swords in the future position that you have here is a card about trying to figure it all out really quickly. But sometimes like you may not have all the answers, and you just sort of have to go with the flow, and you have to apply what you know and move forward with wisdom and create new systems. And it's when you do those things, you start to understand and something new starts to be born. And that's what I'm seeing happening here for you. Clarify the Three of Pentacles as your advice. You pulled the Eight of Cups here. Yep. I think one thing too, if you're going to create anything new here, Aquarius, I would make sure that it's spiritually connected and that you're doing it. I know this is not an Aquarius typical reading. I know it's not. But the Eight of Cups is about finding, like doing things from a place of like self-love, like doing things from a place of because it's going to benefit you, not necessarily bring you more status or bring you more validation or to get the attentions of others or to get the attention of another person, right? This is more so about creating and building systems here and staying disciplined with your goals that are ultimately going to shape you at a deep spiritual level. Clarify the Two of Swords. You pulled the Fool card. The Fool card is about leaping into new experiences, trying new things, but the Two of Swords is, yeah, we need to think about it for a little bit, right, before we try something new or to take another chance with something. But don't let indecision here affect, don't let indecision, kill your chances of new things happening. Does that make sense? We'll pull you one more card here, Aquarius. You pulled this dignified card. It says strength. You pulled the debilitated card, and then you pulled dignified. These two are opposite in astrology. It's like you're trying to find your strength here again. You're trying to find your confidence. You're trying to find your courage. You're trying to get to a space here to where you can finally dissolve these challenges, right? And so it's like you don't have to deal with all this difficulty. You pulled this trust card. I think you're needing to trust here. It's also with this forgiveness card. It's like having to forgive and trust and let go. Trust yourself, trust others. And then you pull this work through your fears here. So yeah, I mean, there could be some fears coming up with that death card. It's like, damn, because you don't know, right? It's like you don't know all the answers, and that breeds uncertainty. But I want to say here, now's not the time to be uncertain. I think now's the time to be more certain than ever. So, but it does lead to this deeper wholeness and fulfillment, I think within inside yourself, but also in your relationships here as well. And there could be, if this is a relationship situation here, that this Two of Cups and the Hangman, that there will be forgiveness and there will be repair, and then there will be connection again. The connection is restored. So, I mean, Mercury is retrograding in your 7th house of relationships, huh, Aquarius? So, Seven of Swords, death card could be betrayal. And yeah, so I mean, I do see some of these situations and scenarios here. But yeah, the overall energy has come through. So that is what I got for you, Aquarius. I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave your reading here. If you want to book a personal reading with me, again, that link will be down below in the description. Otherwise than that, Aquarius, I wish you the best, and I'll see you in your next video.